I'm your host, Mark Roberts. Great to have you along here. A reminder, we are here every Tuesday at 5 to 6 on the home of Anteater Athletics. That's 88.9 FM KUCI in Irvine, and you can get us on the internet at kuci.org live at the time of the radio broadcast, and we, within a couple days of our previous show, archive it, so it's there for a long, long time for you to look up and get a listen if you missed it live of your favorite athletes, administrators, and people involved with this great athletic department. My first guest today is Lexi Kopf, who's off to a great start in her senior year. She's a forward on UC Irvine's outstanding women's soccer team. Their head coach, Scott Juniper, has totally revolutionized this program and changed really the entire Big West Conference with the Anteater success of the last couple of years. They, of course, defending conference champion. Lexi leads the team with 7 goals, 14 total points on the year, and already has 4 game-winning goals and a great start to her senior year. Lexi, welcome to the show. You got a smile on your face, and it should be from your play.
Thanks.
The team is 7-3-1. Good record, but I think even you would say yourself that this team expects more of itself at this point of the year.
Yeah, definitely. We had a kind of a rough weekend up in Northern California, just letting a few goals that maybe were kind of tough losses, but a tie at Davis and a loss at EOP, but I think it just put our feet firmly back on the ground to take UCSB and Cal Poly this weekend. So.
Well, you played an amazing schedule. I mean, from number 1, number 2 in the country, whatever you want to believe, Stanford. Then you beat number 11, Texas A&M on the road. Other huge victories. So, I mean, a 7-3-1 record is something to be proud of, you know, with the competition that you faced. But now you have to go to work. 6 more conference games left. And a big weekend this weekend with Cal Poly in Santa Barbara. Looks like we need a sweep, and a sweep's in order, huh?
Definitely. I mean, we are playing them at home, so we always like to have a good home crowd, and it helps us get pumped up for our games. But I think we can definitely do a sweep. We need to get our feet back on the ground and just focus on conference. The 7-3-1 doesn't mean anything. We just need to. We started 1-1 in conference, and.
Right. Well, look. With this team, with all the success you've had the last couple of years, there's got to be a great deal of confidence. What about this year's team is different from last year? I mean, you lose Tanya Taylor, but you bring in Natalie, a great transfer from UCLA. Is this a more offensive-minded team, more defensive-minded? What are the strengths about this year's team, and maybe some of the things that you need to shore up to have the kind of success that last year did?
Well, we lost a lot of experience last year. I think not. We lost a lot of talent, but I think it was the captains and the leadership on the team. We lost 3 captains in Dee and Elisa and Tanya.
Right.
So this year, we definitely have the firepower and Tall, the transfer from UCLA. And our back 4 is, we have the starting center backs with Coco and Sarah. So we definitely can do it. It's just about getting regrouped and refocused now.
Coco's a very unique player. Tell our audience who haven't had a chance to see her what she brings.
Coco's just a huge defensive weapon and attacking weapon, depending on where she is on the field. At a certain point, she just brings a lot of fire and passion to the game, along with huge heading abilities and defensive clearances.
Lexi, obviously you're very, very intelligent just by your answers here. Playing in the front line, being a very good scorer and a clutch scorer, how much of the game mentally makes a difference as far as being a good player to an outstanding and maybe a game-changing type of player, which you are?
I think the way that I play is that I try to pick and choose my opportunities of when to make runs. So rather than getting the ball in the midfield and turning, I'm more of a tactical player, I'd say, than technical player. So making runs and playing the game smartly to get in behind defensive lines is more my strength.
That's spoken like an anteater, someone who really takes school seriously. You have a twin sister on the team who adds a lot to the team. Now, twins generally are very close, but sometimes, you know, they have their spats. Talk a little bit about the relationship with your twin and playing college soccer, D1 college soccer with her.
Yeah, when we were looking at colleges, we each had opportunities to go different places, but I think that we both decided and figured out it would be best for us to stay together for another 4 years, so we both decided on UC Irvine. So it's been a great experience. We've been roommates for the last 4 years, and I couldn't think of a better person.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and a great way when you go off to a big college and big university, and not that far from home, but a ways. Great to have the person closest to you in the world right there with you. She adds a lot to the team too with her spirit and leadership and just what she brings as far as making everybody in the entire group feel good about themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she will always be leading in fitness and have a smile on her face no matter what we're doing. Even if she's not getting the minutes out there on the field, there's no one you'd rather have leading a team just based on her personality and, commitment.
Lexi, you have 4 already game-winning goals midpoint of the season because we believe you're going to go to the postseason and play a while there. That's outstanding. You can't, going into a game, say, well, I'm going to get the game-winning goal because the opportunity may not be there. Yet you seem to make the most of that opportunity when the game is on the line. Any rhyme or reason that you can figure out why you're so good at that?
I think I just go into every game realizing that it's my last season. Yeah. So I kind of put everything on the line. We're running fitness and practice so that I have that little bit last energy left in the last few minutes of the game. And I just realized that this is the last opportunity I'm ever going to get to play college soccer. So why not just do everything I can out there?
You're going to look back on this, and when you came into the program, UC Irvine women's soccer was down. Scott Juniper had just taken over, and Scott and this group of girls, and some of the girls who've graduated and some who are a year or two younger than you, have made a world of difference here. Going to be something very special you'll be able to look back on. I imagine you're really proud of what this program has become.
Yeah, definitely. I think that when Scott was recruiting my year, he was kind of asking us to buy into what he wanted to build the program into based on Tanya's year and the year before, and I saw something special in what he could bring to a team and what our group of players could bring, and I just bought it, and I think everyone did in my class, and it really has helped build the program.
Are Scott and his staff a fun group to play with? I mean, they're coaches, so they're going to get on you, they're going to ride you, they're going to make you do some things. Sometime you go, hey, I'm exhausted, but overall, have you really enjoyed the experience of interaction, coach to player?
I have. Scott really takes time to get to know each of his players personally. You don't feel like it's just more of a working environment, like you're there to play soccer and he's there to coach. He really tries to get to know everyone, and he asks about like other things in your life besides just soccer. So it's kind of more of a friend relationship.
Are you getting some of the support now with the team being undefeated last year in conference play, going to the round of 16, and a tremendous year last year? Are you getting some support out there now and people coming out and really giving it a buzz at Anteater Stadium?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think you can really see that from the numbers we even had at our Portland game, that just the whole school really is getting behind the athletics program and women's soccer in particular, and that's really nice to see, like refreshing to see a big change from my freshman year.
Seems to me you're the epitome of what a student athlete at UC Irvine should be and are. A biology major who wants to be a doctor, and that's the most important thing in your life. And I believe your sister thinks somewhat along those same lines. Tell us a little bit about your plans for your life.
Well, I'm going to hopefully be taking my MCAT this May and then applying for med school in June. So hopefully I'll get in somewhere and start the progress to a doctor.
Yeah, that's a whole lifetime in itself, isn't it, to become a doctor? Is there any particular field of medicine that, at least at this point, you're more interested or maybe pointing towards?
I think it may be emergency medicine.
Wow. Wow. So being an athlete like you are, it certainly will pay off having all that experience under pressure. Emergency medicine, that I have a friend of mine who for 30 years has worked emergency at Fountain Valley, and the stories are unbelievable. So I imagine that going ahead being an emergency doctor, I mean, you're going to see everything under the sun, everything possible that can happen.
Yeah, definitely. I just feel like being an athlete kind of prepares you for anything type of situations, and I just feel like emergency medicine would be that fast-paced type of field that I'd be looking for.
Life-saving stuff, absolutely. You know, maybe make a TV series out of that. They probably have already, but doing something like that. And what about Jordan? Is she interested in that same type of medicine, or have you discussed that with her?
I'm not sure. I think she's kind of keeping her options open, but she definitely wants to do something in the medical field.
Wow, that's great. Tell us a little bit about your family. Are you the only you have any other brothers or sisters?
We're the only kids. My mom kind of has some empty nest syndrome, even though it's been 4 years.
Wow, wow. And you went to Sonora High School. What do your folks do?
My dad, he does real estate development for master plan communities,
Wow.
and my mom, she's always stayed home with us. That's been really nice growing up.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, going back to the old days. Describe overall your experience at UC Irvine. In the classroom, in areas away from athletics, have you enjoyed it? Has it been kind of a full, well-rounded type of education?
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't have asked for a better college experience. I mean, I live with four of my teammates down in Newport, so you get the beach life mixed with the great campus life of UC Irvine, and it just couldn't have been better.
Yeah, life is good, isn't it? Getting away from sports, your long-term goal of being a doctor and the wonderful practice of medicine, what do you enjoy doing? You just in free time, goof around time, fun time, downtime, whatever you want to call it.
I like going to the beach. I really like snowboarding when I can make it up to the mountains.
Really?
Just hanging out with friends.
So mountains or the sea, it doesn't matter to you. You're good at both, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I grew up in Sonora, which is all mountains. So.
Right. And anybody in the world of soccer, any women that you pattern your game after or you think have been, the fabulous success of our Olympic and World Cup women's teams, any particular player or group of players or certain team that you've looked up to and maybe has had a lasting impression on you?
Right. No, I think just like the whole women's national team as a whole, just the way they carry themselves as like individuals and how they've really progressed the sport of women's soccer just by being a good face for women's athletics all around. I think the way they carry themselves, they're good role models for any.
Fabulous. They've done not only a lot for the sport of women's soccer, but for all women's athletics. How about Hope Solo, good dancer? Do you watch that show? I don't watch it, but I hear she is.
I have seen a few clips of it, but she's doing pretty well. I mean, she is a great soccer player. So.
Yeah. Well, who knows, Lexi? Maybe you'll be on that someday. You know, be a famous doctor, former soccer player, and do that. I wish you the best this weekend. 2 big games. You have Santa Barbara, which day now?
Friday night.
Friday night, 7 o'clock. Cal Poly Sunday at noon, right?
Yep.
Folks, come out. This is an outstanding program, a program that's been as high as in the top 15 of the country this year, and they should be back at that. 2 crucial games, UC Irvine, UCSB, 7 o'clock, Anteater Stadium on Friday night, 12 noon, Sunday afternoon, as we always enjoy knocking off the schools from the Central Coast. They think they have something on us. Newport Beach, a place to be, right?
Exactly.
Lexi, a pleasure. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Geez, have a great career in medicine.
Thanks.
I hope I don't see you in the emergency room.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Lexi Kopf, our guest. We'll be back with much, much more on this edition of the Blue and Gold Report on KUCI.